Oh, sorry. You caught me dozing. It'd been a long night last night. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. In fact, probably grand total of about 2 hours. No real explanation why either. I just couldn't sleep. Did all of the things that you're supposed to do. I got up and I prayed. I prayed to our prayer list. I read my Bible. I drank warm milk even, but nothing seemed to really put me over the edge. But it got me thinking. I think there's reasons that we have sleepless nights. Not always a guilty conscience, by the way. Sometimes I think God is just trying to get our attention, like He did Xerxes in Esther chapter 6. Here's what it says. During the night, the king could not sleep, so he gave an order to bring the book of records. See, he brought a book. Sometimes books help us fall asleep. Well, he had the book of records, and if anything's going to make you fall asleep, it would be that one, the Chronicles. They were read before the king. So in this sleepless night, God got Xerxes' attention. It's interesting if you read through Esther, interestingly ironic, God isn't even mentioned throughout the entire book, and yet you can pretty clearly see His hand at work. And this sleepless night was clearly the work of God's hand. You see, there's things about night, things about those sleepless nights. One is night times are quiet. I mean, compare night to the day in most places, and it's generally pretty quiet. Even when we have our nephew over and he and my son are playing video games or watching movies, it's still quieter often than it is during the day. Night times are also generally free of distraction. You don't have the phone ringing. People aren't generally coming to visit, and so in those moments, in those quiet times, in those times that are free from distraction, the nighttime can be a good time for a meaningful encounter with God. And that's what God is trying to do, I think, in many of our lives. Think about some of the things that He did in history. With Jacob in the sleepless night when he wrestled with him in Genesis 32. And God blessed him that night. And Jacob's life really turned around. With Samuel, when he was calling to him, when he was in the temple under the priest Eli, called to him several times in the night, and finally Eli told Samuel, next time you hear the voice call to you, say, here I am, Lord, your servant is listening. And oh, what a life Samuel led from that sleepless night on. In Psalm 16:7 it says, even at night my heart instructs me. Some of the thoughts that run through our minds, some of the things we think about. Again, God getting our attention and getting us focused in an area where He wants us to focus. He can instruct us. Psalm 17:3 says, you have tested my thoughts and examined my heart in the night. Sometimes in those quiet hours, they're not our favorite times. By the way, let me just specify, I wasn't real excited about not being able to sleep because I knew I had a lot to do today. But I am glad that I had the time, because I believe God does test our thoughts and examines our hearts in the night. And we have a beautiful picture in our Savior Jesus of Him going time after time in the night, going off to be alone with His Father. And so here's what I would encourage you, because probably if you're human, and most of you watching this are, you're going to have some time coming up where maybe, just possibly, you're going to find yourself with a sleepless night. And so here's what I would encourage you to do. Pray, read the Bible, maybe find a good book, warm milk, but also ask specifically as you're praying, God, is there a purpose in my being up tonight? Do you need my attention for something? And listen. Sometimes the best thing to do at night is listen to more than just the hoot owls and the wind that howls through the hollow. But listen for what God might say, and you might be surprised. Perhaps if you say simply like Samuel did, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening, He might speak. I'm Pastor Dave Bentley at Precision Valley Baptist Church in North Springfield, Vermont. I welcome you to come and join us at worship, 10 o'clock on Sunday. We're actually going to be talking about quiet times, ironically. Again, I think God had it planned that I would have this sleepless night on the week prior to the Sunday that I talk about meeting Him in the quiet places. So join us. Come out of the rush hour and find solace, find peace, find strength in the quiet place that God has planned for you. Sunday, 10 o'clock, Precision Valley Baptist Church, North Springfield, Vermont. You can also catch us on the web at pv-bc.org, and check me out on Facebook as well. Become my friend. God bless. Take care. I'll be praying for you. You pray for me.